everybody, going to be installing a scooter lift on this Infinity today. This is a Bruno ASL-250. You got a swing away so it can swing out from behind the hatch, and also we'll just have to start putting a trailer hitch on it. So let's get started with that. Alright, on this Infinity you have a bracket right here that needs to come off with 3 bolts, and that's where the new hitch is going to go and just bolt right to the frame. So we got to take those brackets off first on both sides. On the driver's side there are 3 bolts you have to take loose to get the charcoal canister out of the way so you can get to the bolts for the bracket. Now that I have the brackets taken off, got my hitch on my jack, I'm just going to jack it up into place. That way I'm not manhandling that thing. Once the hitch is pushed up in the proper position, just use the supplied hardware. There's 4 bolts on each side, and tighten it up. The manufacturer recommends 68 foot-pounds for the bolts, so I've got a torque differential. I'm going to torque it to 68 foot-pounds. With our hitch now installed and the charcoal canister reinstalled, we can start working on our scooter lift. First process of the scooter lift install is going to be the wiring. While we're on the lift, I'm going to do the wiring so I can run it underneath the vehicle. And then to install the lift, we'll put it back on the ground. Here's the wiring that comes with the lift. It needs to be run from the lift. This is the plug for the lift. It needs to be run under the vehicle all the way straight to the battery. And just use your discretion and run it into a safe location under the vehicle and tie it up. And then you have a fuse for your positive side when you hook it to the battery. So let's go ahead and find how we're going to run it and get it installed. So I'll hold it in place with a zip tie here so we can run all the other wire. I ran the wiring down the passenger side frame rail and up to the battery. I ran it parallel to the fuel lines and zip tied it up so that it stays away from heat, exhaust, any moving parts, or any rubbing of any kind. Using the supplied hardware, I put the fuse in and the eyelets to connect it directly to the battery. Now that the wiring is done, I need to get it off the lift, put it on flat ground so we can install the scooter lift. Now we're going to start the lift installation. I have 2 brackets here, one that goes in the hitch, and then this bracket, and this will determine the height that the lift is going to be at. But in order to determine which holes we're going to use on that, there's a chart in here. So we need to measure the height of the hitch, go by the chart, and it'll tell us what holes to use. And this bracket will either go this way or this way, depending on how high we need to have the lift up on the ground. When you measure, the manufacturer wants you to measure from the ground to the inside lip. That's about 16.5 inches. So we'll go to the chart, and it says 16 inches standard down, which means the bracket will go this way. And then we'll use the highest A, which is right here. So we'll use the top bolts on this bracket. Now for the hitch adapter, in order to keep it from wiggling, there's a collar on here that goes through the hole and actually makes contact with the receiver, so when you tighten it down, it won't wiggle. This bolt here is used on the bottom of the adapter in order to set the angle of this bracket here so that it's 90 degrees with the ground. I just put one bolt in and adjusted this bolt down here in order to get 90 degrees on our gauge here. Sitting a very good gauge. But since we're putting a swing away on here, this is just to measure the angle so we can put the swing away on. Now, because the swing away is on here, we have to put the bracket on this part of the swing away instead of on the hitch bracket. The easiest way to attach the lift is go ahead and plug it in and use the power of the lift to move it for you. Get it folded up and just keep lifting it until it reaches, until it lines up. I always like to tuck the wires inside the frame and then make sure this is zip tied up to stay out of the way of moving parts. Now we're going to check the operation of it and make sure it goes up and down properly, and then we'll fit it for the scooter. For the swing away, there's a handle right here. Just lift it up, it unlocks. And opens it up. Lock it down. There's a customer scooter on it. As you can see, the back wheels are in the hole there, and the front is way past it, so we need to adjust these in order to get that scooter to fit on there properly. Now that I have the tires lined up with the valleys on the lift, Now we just need to see if the hold down is going to work properly and if it's adjusted properly. This is the hold down here. Now it's rubbing there, but that scooter's as far back as it can go. You see it's rubbing right here, but that scooter is as far back. I've got it on the last bolt right here, so there's no other adjustment in there. Probably just have to see if they have a different head for this so it doesn't tear up the customer's scooter. Thank you for joining me for the project today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.